Hi, Tom. So here we are.
Here we are. Hey, Beatrice.
Hi, Tom. Two coaches unleashed.
Yeah, exciting.
So let's start. I'm gonna start, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to get together today just to have a bit of a first chat, since we're both coaches. And I wanted to ask you if you could just describe yourself in a sentence. What would that sentence be?
Ooh, myself or myself as a coach?
Either.
Either. Myself as a coach, I help people gain clarity on their career direction, and I help them take action towards a career that's more in line with the lifestyle they want. That's, in a sentence, my coaching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that career confusion and finding a new a life that's more in line with that they designed it that way, as opposed to by
lifestyle
default.
design. Yeah, lifestyle design is a nice way of saying it as well. Yeah, in line with their values, what they want, what's meaning to them as well. So very much a personal thing, that allowing people to find the right thing to enable life for them, whatever that means.
Okay. And so what are the types of people that you coach? The type of people that come to you for coaching?
Very varied. So I have a big background in the data analytics industry, and then more into the kind of people and HR space now, and training as well. So a lot of past contacts from data, but generally people in new leadership roles, people in executive roles, all sorts really, and then people who are 2-3 years into their career and are kind of looking for that next thing. So generally it's people who are looking for some sort of change. The words people use often when they come to speak to me is they're stuck, stagnant, they're lost, something of that. And ultimately it's helping them navigate that change, get the clarity around it as well. So those are the types of people, but very varied. I think I really like just being able to work with a huge variety of people, really. But it's professionals who are looking for something different, or feel that plateau of some sense. Yeah.
And do you have like an age bracket that you work with?
Not a named and defined range, but generally it's people in that 30 to 50-ish. It's a wide range, but yeah, it's in that, from their late 20s, early 30s, and then I guess it's slightly different maybe at different life stages what people are looking for, but yeah, I flex with that as well. So, yeah.
Okay. And it's both men and women, right?
Yeah. No, I've helped people who are coming back from maternity leave. One of my clients recently, so she's navigating that change and figuring out what's right for her now at this point in her life, and what that means. So yeah, that's been a really good one. But yeah, and then lots of men as well. So all sorts. Yeah.
I imagine there must be quite a big advantage actually for a woman that's come back from maternity leave to actually speak to a man about this, as opposed to another fellow woman.
Okay.
As you'll be able to provide a different perspective, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what coaching is about, though, as well. It's offering that different perspective to anybody. I think as a coach, that's our job, really, isn't it? It's to help them see different perspectives, and no perspectives there's no such thing as the right or wrong one. But I think a lot of times as well, when you're chatting to friends and family, like, yes, they might give you advice and what they think you should do, which again I hate that word should, what you should do, but they give you all of these ideas and stuff, but sometimes just that other external support and voice, and someone who's just got your best interests at heart, but ultimately is letting you as the receiver of the coaching to kind of help guide you through that whole process and get what you really, really want. So yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we should probably mention how you and I met, Tom.
Yes, we should. Yeah, we met on our coaching diploma around a year ago, was it? I think.
Yes, exactly. It started in May of last year. It was the day just before my birthday. So it was on the 17th of May. I remember that. And that's when we met. We were in the same cohort, right?
Wow. Yeah, it's been great to see our journeys since then, how we've evolved and grown. Along with
You know that
my
first coaching course, I did it back in 1998. But it wasn't, it was a coaching course for leaders. But it wasn't until last year that I decided to certify that. I understood that as part of the certification process, you can only start counting your hours when you actually start certifying. So, all the hours done previously in coaching at work and all of that obviously don't count, even though they do count for the experience, but they don't actually count for the certification. So, yeah, I mean, we all have that, right? That we have to start counting hours after we actually enroll. But we're probably more experienced than our hours say.
Yeah. And what was the biggest learning for you throughout the I guess the year that's passed since May?
Well, I think first of all, just how if you're going to be coaching other people, you need to also do the work on yourself. And I think that was my biggest learning, is that we have, infinite potential, infinite capacity for growth. And I'm a learner. Like, that's one of my strengths. I like learning and reinventing myself. So I've really taken the time to be coached myself on how to transition from being a manager and a leader in the corporate world to now serving other people as a full-time coach and as a trainer as well, because I also do, apart from coaching, I also do training and facilitation. So my biggest learning is, if you have the motivation, you can always improve yourself and grow in ways that you probably would never have imagined.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And for you, Tom, what was your biggest learning?
A similar vein. I think it was interesting. I went into coaching similar to you maybe, but it was very much from a professional lens, in terms of I'm in the training development side of stuff at work, and coaching was something for me to do within a company. But I learned so much through the process of being coached. That so much has grown since then. I've lost count now of how many coaches I have, of a business coach, life coach in terms of relationships, and a coach for career as well. So all sorts of coaches and support, and people like yourself as well. It's nice to build this network. A mobility coach as well. So all sorts of stuff. And so I think, just learning the power of that, and also just, reinventing was a nice way you said it as well. That kind of reinventing yourself. I learned a lot in terms of just how you can apply these skills to life as well. I think I learned so much more about just life development, I think, and recognizing patterns from the past and all of that kind of stuff. And I think that's what we're both doing now in our new program, around identifying these stories that we tell ourselves from childhood. And I remember it's actually very interesting, some of the training we did a year ago, when we were looking at kind of how we view the world and all of these kind of stuff. And at the time, it was kind of, really? wasn't that into it, but now I look at it because we're going through a similar thing now with high performing coach, where yeah, going back into that things as a child and stuff, and oh yeah, now I get it. I see it. So yeah,
Yes.
that introspection maybe on how we view things, and opening up our, opening up our worlds to new and different ideas, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Around.
And where are you based? Because I can see the beautiful, I always see these when you and I speak on video, the beautiful sailboats. We can
Yeah.
just see them in the glass. Where are you
Twinkle
there?
away. Beautiful island. Yeah, on a very, very sunny day you've caught me on. Yeah. So no, it's great. It's just south of Dublin in a little seaside town called Greystones. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, over the harbour, and it's a
You could
nice
have
spot
said you
for
were in
my office.
Mallorca or Menorca or
Yeah.
Greece or anything, because it looks so
uh,
summery.
for the next week. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. What about yourself?
I'm based in Milan, so this is what Milan looks like. This is my sitting room in Milan. Yeah, so I'm in Italy, and I coach both in English and Italian. So my work is about 50-50, I would say.
And how would you describe yourself in one sentence?
Oh, I would say that I'm someone like most people that has had to adapt to various things and punches that life throws at you, but also someone that's extremely grateful for what's been and will be and is. So I would say that I've learned what it means to transform in all experiences, even the most painful, into life lessons. And this helps me to evolve and grow. And now I'm fully dedicating to helping others do the same in a positive and constructive way. And that's also, so that's why I'm a positive leadership coach and a happiness coach as well.
Tell me more
So
about the happiness coach or happiness officer.
yeah, so I'm a certified chief happiness officer. So I did that certification in parallel to the coaching certification. And it's essentially a certification that helps cultivate happiness at an individual, interpersonal, and organizational level. And it's something that's always fascinated me, this thing about happiness. And when I hit a particular low point in my career, I decided I needed something to pick me up. And so I got interested in this subject, a bit more of happiness and people centricity at work, and discovered all this science that's been out there for decades, but that in recent years has become really quite relevant because of all the struggles that we've been through with COVID. But even before COVID, already people were struggling because of the speed at which things are evolving. And so burnout at work is something that I've felt myself, and I wanted just to find something that would help me recuperate from my burnout, and something that could impact other my life and other people's life in a positive way. And that's why I decided to certify myself as a chief happiness officer.
Great.
Yeah.
And what sort of work would that mean you do with either people or organizations, both?
So I kind of blend it into my coaching. So a lot of my coaches that come to me, I gauge their happiness level and as well, and see if they need to do some work on that. Some don't, some are essentially okay with that, but some really come to me like at level 1. From a scale of 1 to 10, they're at a level 1. So then I will start activating my chief happiness officer and understanding a bit more in terms of their energy management, in terms of you know, the purpose that they feel they have, how they can contribute to this life, to this world, their gratitude, you know, what they do to help cultivate their happiness, because really happiness is not so much an emotion, but it's a skill that can be cultivated. So I blended in with my coaching, but then I also work with organizations. So when it comes to helping nurture and cultivate the kind of culture, you know, sort of a positive culture, which is more of a people-centric culture. So understanding that happiness is something that they can measure, and because it gives you a good feeling of where people are at. The happier people are, the more engaged and productive they are. It's been scientifically proven. Less turnover, less sick leave, less disengagement. So you know, being able to measure happiness and being able to get people excited about it and participating in it, it's also a great way to create, you know, collaboration and empathy and all those things that we need to bring more to, you know, to the workplace.
Yeah. How do you measure happiness?
You can measure happiness in different ways. I mean, as you would measure, you know, anything really. So you can use there's different surveys out there that will measure happiness. There's also another great way. I love this. This is a very small company. Can't remember now the name of it, but they basically have 3 buckets at around the coffee area of the company, like the break area, with some tennis balls. And one bucket will say happy, the other bucket will say sad, and the other bucket will be like so. And the tennis balls get shifted. So, you know, when they come in the morning, the tennis balls are in a 4th bucket, and by the end of the day, the tennis balls are either in bucket 1, 2, or 3. And that's also another way to have a bit of a pulse of, you know, how the office is doing, and just trying to address, and then understanding whether, you know, more work needs to be done to figure out what's happening. You know, maybe people are particularly happy, so things are working. Let's find out what is it that we're doing or not doing that's making our people happier. And or if the buckets are full of, you know, that's so or unhappy, trying to understand what's behind it. So there's different ways that you can measure it.
Yeah, I like that tennis ball approach.
Yeah, it's fun.
And what's your balance? You obviously work with organizations and then individuals. What's the balance?
I would say about 60% organizations and 40% private clients. And then I'll also do, within organizations, I'll do coaching, or it's more facilitation and workshopping and master classes.
Yeah.
Yes, so I like to have a bit of variation as well, in terms of leaving my home and going to places, you know, to client offices, or traveling as well abroad. I do that as well. So I like to have a bit of variation.
Yeah. And what sorts of people do you work with on that kind of individual coaching level?
So mostly executives as well. They're mostly executives. I would say that there's 2, I mean, if I'm looking at my private clients, there's really 2 main types. The ones that are feeling that they know they want to change. There's something that they know they want to either upskill themselves on something, or they've just been promoted and they really want to, you know, just bring it up a level. And then the other ones that are more feeling maybe drained, or they're going through a redundancy, or feel stuck and just feel that they're not progressing through life as they would. And so, you know, I'm also supporting there. So I would say those are the two main different types of groups of people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you this, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
what do the people that come to you for coaching actually want? And then I'll ask you what it is that they need, but I want to ask you first, what is it that they want? What do they come to you looking for?
Great question. Yeah, they come looking, they say words like, I'm stuck, I'm not sure where my career is going, I'm lost. They kind of talk about this language there. Or some people come and they have a very clear idea of where they want to go and what they want, and it's a case of getting them there. But that's fairly rare. A lot of people come with this, I'm kind of not really sure where's next for me. I've hit this plateau, or I'm feeling stagnant. My company's not giving me the support that I want, or I don't feel comfortable talking to them about it. And then sometimes, people who've just hit new leadership roles or new roles, they've been there for a couple of months and they've kind of, right, how do I make the most of this? So a real range. People just aren't fulfilled for whatever reason as well. So that's often what people come and they talk about. Yeah.
So what is it that I mean, do you see a difference between what it is that they want and what it is that they actually need from coaching?
I wouldn't say a difference. Well, there is a difference, yes, but it's not like black and white difference. It's a development of that, I think. So often people come and they have this kind of, fairly surface level sort of thing that they're dealing with, and they're not quite sure what it is. But often the first half or so of my coaching program would be very much identifying much more the getting that clarity on the vision and really kind of drilling down into that mindset and the clarity of how they're feeling and why, and the values, the life they want to live, and really get people thinking about a vision, which is something that they often haven't done or haven't had either the space to do it or the tools to do it properly. So I think once we go through that phase, then the path ahead becomes a lot clearer. And then maybe the things then that they want at that stage are perhaps different from what they may have said at day one. So, and then from there, kind of what they need then may change. So, that's how I'd think I view that. Yeah.
Okay. And how, if somebody comes for coaching, how long does it take to be coached?
I start with a 3-month program. That's my usual, seems to cover for most people. Now, there is flexibility around that, but I think 3 months is a nice amount of time, because you have that time to really explore things and get deeper down. A lot of people say, oh, can we do something shorter or whatever? But I think you can definitely do stuff in a shorter period of time, but it's getting to that more longer term transformational level, which is what I like to do. I think in my role as a coach, I don't want to have to be there after 3 or 4 months time. I think helping people, now I have been there for longer with others because they've come back, but so I think it's 3 months and we meet every week or every other week.
I was trying to sum this up in sort of a phrase, and I thought, if you come for coaching, it takes 1 month just to feel like things are starting to shift. It takes about 3 months to feel like a brand new person, and then in 6 months you'll actually become a brand new person. Because I find that a lot of the stuff actually happens, a lot of the transformation happens in between sessions or after the session, because we give them the tools to just progress also after without us, right? And
that's something I've started doing with my clients now as well, is giving them resources that help them beyond our time together as well.
Yeah.
Again, because a lot of this is stuff that is does take time, and I know that because I've been through it myself. It's almost that kind of a year ago me, yeah. So it's nice to give them that ongoing support, yeah.
Mm.
What do you see in terms of that? What people want and what people need? What do people come to you? What do they want?
So people that come to me, they're looking for clarity, for progression. They want to evolve and get unstuck. And they also want to be happier, more self-actualized. They want, and also I get a lot of imposter syndrome. So they want to stop feeling that imposter syndrome and also just acquire new skills. One thing I find is that a lot of them want to work on their weaknesses with me. And that I think is a difference between what they want and what they actually need, because I believe that they need to think, well, they need to be aware of what their weaknesses are, but in actual fact, I get them to work a lot on their strengths. So it's very strength-based coaching. So, I try to help them. I have a bit of a semi-structured process, coaching process, so which is blended with some leadership development. So, empathy and emotional intelligence always comes up. Also, building networks and constructive relationships, sort of identifying their vision and setting goals, understanding what's been limiting them in achieving their goals. And sometimes they don't even think about what their goals could be. So just getting them to sit down for a moment and think about what it is that they want, as compared to maybe what others expect them to want, because I get a lot of that as well. People coming thinking that they want something, but then upon reflection, they're like, actually, that's what my father wants for me, or my spouse wants for me, or that's what's been expected of me. But actually, in actual fact, I want something else. And so it's normally an aha moment when that happens. Yeah.
Great moments, aren't they, when you get to witness the aha in front of you? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that is the most satisfying thing about this job, is just being able to understand the impact that you have. And I mean, I still get messages from people that I stopped coaching months ago saying to me, thank you so much for that. My life has really changed, but it's been months now that I haven't spoken to them. And they're still getting back to me saying, it's kind of an ongoing process, and the impact really lasts in time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. Like just the ongoing things that people then go and do themselves beyond our time together. It's really important, and you don't necessarily recognize that at the time, but yeah.
So I'm thinking that maybe we should wrap this up for our viewers, Tom.
Yeah, viewers, listeners.
I just like to say that I think coaching is really for everyone. I mean, honestly, if anybody's listening to this, coaching is it's not just for those that want to dream up a new life. It's really also knowing how to handle your current life, and how to improve and just to live better, and freer, and less stressed.
Definitely. It's about opening up your kind of vision for what is possible, but then also taking the bits that are manageable for you at that time as well. So yeah, definitely so.
Yeah.
Where, if Beatrice, if people want to speak with you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me there. I've got a website, beatriceredi.com. They can also reach out to me via my website. And yeah, I think those are the two main entry points.
Great.
Okay, how about you, Tom? How can people reach you?
LinkedIn is the best way. So Tom Pilgrim on LinkedIn, spelt with an EM. But we'll put the links.
Yeah, we'll put the links.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tom, so this has been
Great.
our first recorded conversation. Would you like to come and do another one with me maybe at some point?
For sure. I've enjoyed it, and I'd like to go deeper into some of the stories and the use cases from some of our clients, and kind of how we've helped people and how we can help others in the future. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Absolutely. Okay, then.
Great.
So thank you. This was very enjoyable.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to any listeners and viewers for sticking it with us to the end, and let us know what you'd like to see in any future conversations.
Absolutely. Some feedback would be great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.